Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. Claudio Giganti here with Giga Racing. We're here to talk about Qatar race. Finally, the season had just started. Really nice. Everybody, it was excited. We didn't know what to expect. Everybody was there. It was a great race. Bastianini back here came up on top. Excellent ride from Bastianini. I mean, he was riding just like a real veteran. Really thinking with his brain. He waited for his time and then he went for it. Really nice. It was a pleasure watching him through the race, how he managed the tires and how did he get to the victory. So let's start from the beginning of the race. Paul Espargaro led the race for quite some times. I was really impressed. I didn't expect Paul Espargaro to be so fast and so consistent. I will give him a good 8 from 1 to 10. He did a fantastic race. On saying that, the only mistake that I think Honda made, it was the sent ball riders, Paul Espargaro and Marc Marquez. They were both on a soft rear, and when I heard that they start with a soft rear, I knew they would have been fast at the beginning of the race, but I know at the end of the race, the medium tire was the one that it would have come back and it would have had the better grip. And that's exactly what happened. So I was actually very pleased that Paul Espargaro managed to finish on the podium, finish third, and he managed to keep his brother Aleix Espargaro, which, nice round of applause for Aleix Espargaro, that he managed to finish fourth. And I think if he had another lap or two, he would have finished on third on the podium, Aleix Espargaro. He did really great on the race as well. Really strong through the entire race, managing his tire as well. Aprilia, big thumbs up. It did well with Aleix Espargaro. So a good result for Paul Espargaro on the Honda, Aleix Espargaro, Bastianini. But the big surprise, guys, it was the KTM. Binder did a fantastic race as well. Really nice. Didn't overdo it. Kept the pace. And brought home 20 points, second place, which is really good. So we'll see this year if the KTM finally find a way to make this Michelin tire work for them at the rear. And, it was a really nice second place, considering that, Guidotti is the new to the team, just came on board with KTM. A very good applause for him as well. He managed the team really nice. Now let's talk a little bit about Suzuki. I was expecting a lot more for them. I mean, they did mark the best speed, the fastest speed on the straightaway, 357 kilometers an hour, faster than Ducatis. So again, the Suzuki was there, but no really, it missed the edge to actually be able to push to the front. But I gotta give a good credit to Mir and to Rins that they both managed the race and did not crash. Okay, so at the end of the day, yes, they didn't succeed as good that I expected, Suzuki, but in the same place, they did not crash and they kept a steady pace through the race. Yes, at the beginning they were more forward and then they went back. What I really believe is that Suzuki up to last year was one of the few bikes that had a really corner speed, and it was be able to carry nice, phenomenal corner speed. Now I can see how the Honda has changed now. The Honda became a lot more drivable for all these riders because it's a change, it's a little bit changed. Used to be a stop and go bike, but now we see that even Honda has a good corner speed. So the corner speed has increased from all the competitors, so from Ducati, from Honda, and so now the Suzuki doesn't have the hedge advantage, but they did improve a lot on power on the engine and top speed. So I think we'll see them up front again, the Suzuki. I wouldn't rule them out at the moment yet. Let's talk about the factory Ducati. A complete disaster weekend, guys. Complete disaster weekend. They couldn't get the 2022 bike with the 2022 engine working, so they went back a step as far as the engine goes, and they went with a 2021 later spec engine, okay, which is the engine that they test at Valencia last year at the end of the season. So that's the rumors. That's the engine. So that's the engine that they decided that was going to work best for the bike this year. Now, what my opinion is about the factory Ducati is that I think because last year there was no development, so Ducati worked 2 years into this new bike, so they came up with something really, really new to try to set themselves apart from the competition. But what happened is, I think the step is so big that the testing season, it was so short that they couldn't get the right testing to make the bike and the engine work well together. So during the testing, Bagnaia was stating how good the bike was and how better it was, but needed work and improvement. Now, how the weekend rolled out is they're still behind on testing, so they were trying so many different settings. And Francesco Bagnaia did a thing that I really didn't like. That he publicized the fact that, you know, all weekend or most of the weekend they were working on changing settings and trying different things, and almost like a testing weekend, but it was actually a race weekend. So he didn't really have time to turn the bike into the race mode that he wanted to, and so he blamed it Ducati into this extreme amount of different, you know, testing and changing. He said the bike, anytime it was going out there, it was completely different than the time before, so he couldn't get the right setup for the race. Miller, again, he had an electronic problem with his electronics on his bike. He had to retire. And then Bagnaia, I was a little bit disappointed because he was still trying to push harder, although the bike wasn't there for him. He didn't have the right feeling. You can see that his progress from the back, it wasn't as good. And then he made a big mistake and took out Martin, which, you know, it was pretty bad because, yes, Martin was back there as well, but it was still trying to manage his equipment and what he had and work with what he had. So, you know, I give Bagnaia today for a Qatar race like a 4. Like it was just a little bit immature, the way that he rode and the way that he actually handled the press conference and the interview that he did after. I don't think it's a good thing to, and it never worked in any rider's favor when Ducati got criticized by the riders. They don't like that. So let's talk in final about Yamaha. Well, Yamaha, unfortunately, the bike is not there. It's not up to the standard of the competition. I don't know what is going to happen this year with the Quartararo and Morbidelli, but they're going to have a really, really hard time through the season to be competitive against all the other manufacturers. The other manufacturer made a big step up and Yamaha did not. So let's see and wait. We only saw one first race. There's a lot of races to go. 21 races this year, so we only one off. So we have 20 more races. We know Bagnaia's got to come back strong result on this Mandalika race. During the testing, I didn't do a talk about Mandalika test because the track was in a really bad shape. It was actually a lot of gravel on the track, a lot of mud. Testing was done, but you know what? They didn't have much refinement. By looking at other journalists and what they say, apparently the crew from the track did a really good job cleaning up the track. Apparently the track is nice and clear, no stones, no mud, but we'll find out that for sure on Friday on FP1 for the first practice. So We're gonna stay set. We're gonna talk again about Motogp and Mandalika. I want to talk about it on Friday after the FP1 and FP2. I want to thank you guys again for watching Claudio Gigante here with Giga Racing and Motogp Talk. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Friday. Take care. Ciao.